Oh, what happened? Oh, okay, that's the same thing. Oh yeah, everyone's fucking talking about the merger. AEW will have 12 to 16 months to secure a new TV deal. It's sad to see how many people just want AEW to go out of business. Like when people like, and this might be a hot take. I've said this for so long, and I'm gonna stick by my gut. When it comes to wrestling fans, I really question, are you a wrestling fan, or are you just a fan of one company? And that goes for anybody. If you're just a TNA guy, if you're just an AEW guy, if you're just a fucking House of Glory guy, Three Legacies Wrestling, I don't care. If you support just one company, to me, I might sound like a hypocrite. I might sound dumb. It's really hard for me to take you serious as a fan of the business, as a fan of the quote unquote sport as a whole. When you watch one show, now people are gonna tell me, "Well, Chris, you know, if I don't watch the UFL, does that mean I'm not a real football fan?" Stop that. That is a terrible comparison. I mean, and if you want me to be technical, sure. But this is my thing. There's people know in sports, even in sports, people know that you don't need a. Obviously, the WWE and the NBA, for example, is the marquee of professional basketball, professional wrestling in this case. The WWE is the top. Nobody's denying that. And my Minecraft is done updating, so we will get to that in a second. Let me just put you guys right here while I finish my conversation because I'm going to get my Minecraft tab ready. But with AEW, like it's very weird to see just how many fans are excited about their downfall. I thought you were a wrestling fan. If you're a fan of one company, just fucking say that. No one's That's fine. Like it's not a bad thing. But when when a lot of you diehards, and I'm gonna, if I could pull up I don't know how to pull up the replies on on my on desktop, but oh, view quotes. But it's like, yo, how do you call yourself a wrestling fan and like you want to see the second major company downfall? This guy's a fucking idiot. See, AEW Neckbeard is some fat motherfucker who sits in his mom's basement. He's the stereotype. I know that's just a coincidence, a weird thing to say or a cliche thing to say. Yeah, I've heard that one before. Everyone says that. I truly think this guy's autistic. I'm gonna be honest. I think this is some special ed guy, some dude that's special, and you know what? He probably makes bank doing it. He has 11K followers. People, he's getting the engagement money, so he's playing the game great, and he's smart enough. Look, this is not his real identity, so he's playing the smart game. I don't blame the guy, but he's a fucking idiot. He is. He's stupid. He's autistic. So I'm not gonna go too crazy because you know I'm not gonna make fun of special people here. It's not what I do. But people like him are pussies. They're weak. They're cowards. They hide behind a fake profile. They hide behind parody accounts. I have no respect for somebody like that. Zero. JD from New York. I'm a huge fan of JD from New York. Um, he just said that this needs to be covered more. It's a big deal, which he's right. Um, this guy right here, I mean, this is the problem with wrestling media outlets and wrestling people that want to be wrestling journalists. Now, when I talked about SAP one of the 2 Saturdays ago on Weekly Wrestling with the Sports Jedi Network. We talked about that, and I gave my opinion. I said, Sapp's doing his job. He's a journalist. I still stand by that because we were talking about the general, just the general journalism, just journalism as a whole, I should say. But wrestling journalism's stupid. I really think it is. And people got to understand, because I like to talk shit about the wrestling media. You could argue we're a part of the wrestling media over at the Sports Jedi. I mean, we interview wrestlers, don't we? We interview TNA talent. We've interviewed Silva. We were invited by TNA. Aren't we considered media? So I'm talking to myself primarily. Now, there's a difference, right? We're not in anyone's pocket like a lot of these major outlets. We're very, very much independent. So, we're not a media outlet. We just interview people. So, you could, before I hear the people, well, you've interviewed blah blah blah. I'm not a part of the wrestling media. I'm not. At least not now. I don't consider us a wrestling media. I just consider us guys who talk wrestling and occasionally talk to wrestlers. Because one thing I don't do is I don't glaze any of these people. If I don't like something that they do, I say it. And that's the difference between somebody like me, people like us on my team, my guys, and people like this fucking guy and the Saps and the Raj Garys. You guys aren't fucking journalists. You guys are idiots that tweet shit that people tell you. You don't go into depth to verify these stories. You don't go into depth to really care about what you're putting out. And Sean Ross Sapp has done that on multiple occasions. He did it with CM Punk coming back to WWE. You go, I don't care about the Zelina stuff. He gets points on that one. He just showed it on with Anna Jay and Jack Perry. Isn't he the dumbass that said that Anna Jay was going to WWE or somewhere along the lines? Sapp didn't do a good job of verifying that information. Sapp didn't do a good job of, hey, is what you're telling me true, from whoever told him that. He ran with it and said, hey, give me $5.99 and tell me what the fuck I'll tell you what you want to hear. This is what this guy's doing. I fucking told you so. Congratulations. Do you want a cookie? You want to be the first person to report the death of AEW? And I would have this same energy if this was TNA. I've been watching TNA a lot longer than the people that fucking glaze it and the people that dress in suits and ties with their wives and pretend that they're TNA annulus. You know who you are. You're fucking dumb. You're clowns. And you know what? If I remembered your Instagram or Twitter handle, I'd expose your ass right now and tell you guys who the fuck I'm talking about. I would do the same thing. Now, people are going to ask now, but before I get on the Minecraft, I'm going to close these tabs because I'm not really going to get into that. I just wanted to have this conversation before the Minecraft really installed. And now I forget what I was going to say here because I got an update from my Xbox account here to hop on. But at the end of the day, there's wrestling outside of WWE. You can be a star outside of WWE. WWE isn't the place that makes you. You can argue right now it's the place that could break you. Not saying AEW is any better, not saying TNA is any better. But you can go other places. WWE isn't the all beyond. You're not going to not make it in the business because you haven't been to the WWE. This isn't a sport. This isn't sports. You know what this is, chat? This is television. Pro wrestling is television. It's theater. Because I don't make it on Broadway as an act, I can't make it in the theater acting business. This is the entertainment business. This is what all fucking three of those. So congratulations. You know what? It is what it is. If AEW quote unquote dies, I mean, first off, they're the real reason I'm even interested in wrestling right now because I think it's all fucking lame. I wouldn't even call it boring. I just think it's lame. Um, Congratulations, you guys will get what you want. But when your favorites get released and you go and bitch and moan and complain about it and have your fake outrages, you're gonna have nowhere to watch them. And TNA ain't paying you and them shit. What the fuck is TNA gonna pay ya? I love TNA. I'm not gonna bash TNA just because I'm a uber, AEW fan. I still people might not think I'm a big AEW fan because I'm not scared to criticize the product. I'm not scared to call them out when why is Police Simulator loading up? I'm not scared to call them out on their bullshit, but at the same time, it's like I'm not gonna sit here and I don't have ties to one company. A lot of these wrestling fans have ties to a company that they have their fandom for. I don't. I genuinely don't.